I woke up one morning in Lofton's boarding house in Ashbury, New Jersey. I was in a small room with 2 beds on the 2nd floor. One bed was for Mother and Daddy when they spent the night with us. The one I was in was for my little sister Gwendolyn, who was an earlier riser than me. Gwen and I would have more fun when we were alone. Gwen would get up early while I slept and would come back when she wanted breakfast. But this particular morning she stayed out. Late morning I woke up and tried to sit up, but could not move my legs. My first thought was to try and call Gwen, but I knew that she would not be able to hear me. My younger sister by 9 years loved to talk and visit in the neighborhood. Mother and Daddy did not sleep with us there every night. They spent most of the week living on the premises where they worked at the Stratford Inn Hotel in Avon Park, New Jersey. Last night was one of the nights that Gwen and I spent without them. The next morning, I tried to get up, but I could not move my right leg. Then I tried my left leg. It wouldn't move. Then I realized that both legs were painful, and I could not get up. I panicked, literally panicked. First, I called out as loud as I could, "Help me! Help me! Somebody help me!" After getting no response, I cried and cried and cried. Then I finally realized that I was not going to get help by crying. I was all alone in this room with no help, and I needed a way to find help. Mrs. Lofton never came upstairs. She spent a lot of time in her kitchen canning fresh fruit and vegetables for the winter months. I spent what I thought were hours crying and feeling the pain in my legs. All of a sudden I heard footsteps coming down from the 3rd floor, one of the roomers, and this could be the last person to come down in the morning. I began to yell out loud, "I need help! Come in! The door is open! I need help!" The footsteps stopped. I said to myself, "Now I will get help." Then I heard the person continue to run down the steps. Tears began to flow again. Minutes later, which seemed like hours, I heard footsteps again. Again I called out, "Please help me. I need your help. Please, I am begging you. The door is not locked. Just open it and come in." This time the footsteps stopped for a second, but only to continue down the stairs. Now that I had time to think, I realized these were young men who lived on the 3rd floor, and the way I was asking them to come into my room, there was no wonder they would not answer me. I had to figure out what to say in order to get someone to help me. For a long time, everything was quiet, so I just cried and cried, thinking that all of the people on the 3rd floor had come down and gone to work. I thought maybe Gwen would come soon and ask for her milk and cereal. No such luck. I knew better because she would rather talk than eat. I lay there thinking, now what can I do next? Panic? No, panic is not the answer. Gwen would have to come and help me at some point. Oh God, what do I do now? Please help me. I can't move. I'm in pain. Then, all of a sudden, I heard very slow footsteps. I felt within my heart this was my last chance to get help, so I had to say the right words. I said, God, please help me say it right this time. Put the right words in my mouth. I feel like this is the last person from the 3rd floor. Seconds passed and I heard a knock on the door. I yelled, "It's open. Please come in." I could see the doorknob turning slowly, and the door finally opened. This tall, dark, and slender, middle-aged man with mixed gray hair stuck his head in and asked in a soft voice, "How can I help?" He came in and got on the phone to call my mother. He looked at me and said, "You will get help. I will call your mother right away." And he did. Then I lay in pain, waiting. It seemed like it took my parents forever to get to me. I was in town, and my parents were in Avon Park on the beach. During that time of my life, we did not have a phone booth on every corner. That man probably made the call from someone's home or at work. When my parents received the message, they did not come right away. They waited and served lunch at the hotel where they worked. Breakfast and lunch were served close together, and my parents thought that by waiting until after lunch, they would have more time to attend to me and then get back in time to serve dinner. But I was really sick. Daddy was the head waiter, now called the maitre d', the kind that was going to work every day, on time, and running his dining room, no matter what. Daddy was a dutiful worker that thought his dining room could not run without him. Well, my parents finally arrived and got me to the hospital. The doctor told them if I had waited any longer, both of my legs would have been paralyzed and my heart would have been in danger. By that time, my whole right side was paralyzed, and I could not move anything on my right side. I was admitted right away and diagnosed with rheumatic fever. I was born a lefty, but my parents made me use my right hand. Now I had to learn to use my left hand all over again. The pain was unbearable. I had pains that would never go away, and I needed a blood transfusion. My parents did not know many people in Asbury Park, which made it hard for them to find someone with the same blood type. On one of my parents' visits, Mother said to me, "Your daddy found someone that is willing to give you blood." She told me his name, which I cannot remember to this day. I asked, "Does he know me?" And she said, "No, just your daddy and me. He works at the hotel and heard about you needing a blood transfusion." Then she said it was nice of him, since he was a white man. When she said white man, I was so shocked I must have turned white myself. Mother asked, "What's wrong?" For a minute I was speechless. I turned, just looked at her and said, "Oh, nothing," but it was something. This man's blood is white. When she left for the night, I could hardly sleep. Why are they giving me this white man's blood? That means this white blood will be mixed with my colored blood. I used to hear my grandmother Katie make statements like, "Oh, they must be mixed with white blood to act that way."